Good afternoon and welcome to PWN Global's first webinar of the year, Jumpstart to Success. This is a great session to start our year off with, and I'd like to introduce you to Daniela Ullman, who is a very accomplished intellectual comms professional with a successful 18-year track record in some big corporate entities. She's currently working in the telecoms environment, but she has a passion for all things around healthy lifestyle and fitness. And what a better start to the new year than to start with this topic. So without further ado, Daniela, I'm going to pass over to you.
Hello, ladies, and Happy New Year. Happy New Year from Munich, and thank you so much for joining. As you may have just heard from Rebecca, Jumpstart to Success is my motto for the new year. So you can see the slide, Jumpstart to Success. So I will be talking without slides through the presentation or through the webinar. And then at the end, when we're going to do wrap up, I will put on a few more slides. But I want to make sure that you can see me, can get the energy that I'm trying to transmit to you, and everything else that I'm starting to teach you, to give you, and tips and advice for the new year. So I will stop sharing the screen for a second. And then you should all be able to see me. So ladies, so I wish you a happy new year with, first of all, lots of health, because that's the most important thing. Lots of happiness, lots of love, because we all need love, lots of satisfaction and success. I guess we all want to be successful, don't we? So thank you very much for joining. So my name is Daniela Ullman, and as Rebecca just said, I'm currently based in Munich, and I've been working internationally for many, many years. And I found that my key to success are three topics that I'm going to go through you in a minute. Now, let me quickly give you the goal of the webinar. So my goal of this webinar for you today is, or in general, my mission is, or what I'm really passionate about is to empower women to unleash their true potential. And that can be done through a healthy lifestyle, because that is the foundation for everything. If you're feeling right, if you're eating healthy, if you're working out, if you're feeling good with yourself, you can be much more productive and much more successful. And why do I do that? Because first of all, I've got this passion that I want to share with people, because I have a lot of energy and a lot of motivation. And also, I think women should support each other. You know, I think most of us are doing a very good job. That's why I love this network that I joined a couple of years ago here in the Munich chapter. But there's a lot of women out there that instead of, you know, being part of a group, they tend to do everything by themselves at home. And, you know, they don't want to bother anyone else with their worries and their goals that they may not be able to achieve. So that's why I think that a webinar is a perfect way to, you know, to engage with the outside world, to get support from people, that motivational people like me, or there are so many others out there that can help you to achieve your goals, that to become successful, and that when you need that kick in the ass, that are there for you to help you. And I'm that kind of person. So just one little housekeeping thing. I'm wearing glasses. I can see myself, see the glasses reflecting in the window. So I'm not sure if you can see that, but I would take them off just to make sure that you can see my face and my eyes properly. Okay, so before we run into the sector or the webinar itself, I want to give you some background on my story. As Rebecca just said, I've been working internationally in corporate for 18 years. And when I joined Siemens at that time, that I was with for 10 years, I knew quickly that I wanted to get much more out of it. I had this passion, this motivation. I wanted to give more than 100%. I wanted to pursue my career goals. And so when I started working, after the first couple of years, I started to move abroad. And 1 year, which I started in England, turned into 10 years. So within 10 years, I moved to 3 different countries. And why did I do that? Because I've had that drive. You know, for me, a job was not just a job. I always wanted to give much more, you know, give be able to contribute to the company's goals. And so I decided to move from England to Spain, and from Spain to the US, to New York, where I was living before I moved back to Germany. And I guess many of you probably know, if you either have lived in a different country or are currently living in a different country, or even if you don't, if you are in contact with people from other countries, then you know that there is a lot of effort involved. You know, when you move to a new country, you have to, first of all, learn a new language, so you need a lot of motivation for that. You want to settle in your new job. And you want to build up a new circle of friends, a network, you know, a support network that helps you to settle. And during those years that I've done that, I noticed that in order to have that energy and that discipline and, you know, that motivation to do these things, I need to have 3 components right. And for me, that was a balanced diet, a fitness routine that I can do after work, you know, when I've had a stressful day, and the right mindset. For me, these 3 things were my key drivers to success, because I needed that energy. And now you may think, some people have more energy than others. I'm a bit more like a Duracell Bunyan, you know, can jump around, has lots of energy to share all the time. You may not be like that, but I can assure you, when we are going through the steps of the webinar, through the different topics and themes, when you do change things and commit to a healthy lifestyle, then you will notice that difference in your productivity. You will feel more energetic, you'll be less tired, and you'll be more motivated to push things through. And I guess all of you wonderful ladies are very passionate about your jobs, either in your careers, that you work in corporate, or you started your own business, or you're planning to run your own business like I'm doing, or you're a mom at home, you're enjoying your time at home with your kids. But nevertheless, you're not just sitting at home watching TV and feeling sorry for yourself. Even though I can see you, I can sense that you ladies want to make things happen this year, want to go forwards in achieving your goals and commitments, and want to live a better life. My goal for this year is to make this year the best year ever. I say that to myself every year, but in general, I think that's a really good thing. So let's get started and run into the topics. Now, new start, new year, new goals. I guess the web is full of, and the magazines and newspapers are now full of New Year's resolutions and articles and advice on New Year's goals, and you're probably bombarded by everything. You're probably getting overwhelmed already. That's what I get when I get another email and another email, because it feels like I can't do it all. You know, it feels like there's so much stuff happening. We feel overwhelmed already, and the year has only just started. So that's why it's good to pause and to take a step and look at where you are now, and not get overwhelmed by everything that's coming into. Because what unfortunately happens a lot of time with many people, we set ourselves goals that may be a little bit too optimistic, and then we end up not following through and giving up on them after a month or 2. So it's important to set yourself goals that are achievable, you know, that are realistic, without doing what somebody else is recommending you to do, because in the end, it's your life and your body and your individual person. You're different to anyone else. It's always good to give advice, but you have to do what feels right for you. So now I'm going to go through the different sections, starting with fitness, then we'll go through nutrition, and then the mindset. I'm going to share 2 tips of advice in each section. Then we're going to do a wrap up, and then you have the opportunity to ask your questions. So, Rebecca, I'd like to run the first poll. I'd like to know from you ladies, what is your fitness goal for 2019? It's a multiple choice question. So is that losing weight? Is it improving your overall health and fitness? Is it reducing stress maybe, if you have a very stressful job, or even at home with the family arrangements, or is it something else? So quickly respond to the poll, and then I want to
Okay.
get some information.
So that poll's been launched. I can see that people are starting to respond to that poll. Anybody who can't see the poll, it might be that you're just not looking at the go-to screen. So you need to click on that blue flower icon at the bottom of your screen, and that will open up the poll. And I can see we have 93% of callers have already voted. I am so impressed with you lot this morning. 95%, can we get it to 100? Maybe. I am going to close it there and I will share the results with you. So I just close that and I'm going to share. Unfortunately, Daniela, because of the way the system works, our
Yes.
presenters don't get to see the results. So I'm going to read them out to you.
Yes.
So we have on here, overwhelmingly, 63% of the people on the call are here to improve their overall health and fitness. We have 24% who are looking to lose some weight, 8% looking to reduce stress, and 5% of people here for other reasons.
Wonderful. That's a very good result. And you may have had difficulties deciding which one is the one you want to go for, because they're kind of all intertwined with each other, most of these things, right? And most of us tend to have a busy lifestyle, so reducing stress is kind of part of everything. But I'm really glad that a lot of you have decided to improve your overall health and fitness. And so I think this webinar is just going to be perfect for you, because you'll get a lot of easy to implement tips and tools on how you can improve your well-being and your health. And even if you're planning to, lose a little bit of weight, there's information for you there that you will be able to take home during this 1 hour. So thank you very much for voting. So let's jump into the first section, fitness. There is a quote that I want to share with you, and that's called, "The body achieves what the mind believes." And it's basically saying anything is possible if you believe in it. But it's also saying that a true transformation to healthy lifestyle can only happen if you are taking into consideration all components, not just the physical component, but also the mental, the spiritual, and the emotional components. But let's start first with the physical component. That's fitness, my favorite topic. Well, I like all of them, but in general, that's a topic I'm very passionate about. So fitness. So I'm not sure, you probably know that routine, but a lot of us have very busy days. And sometimes we feel that 24 hours is just not enough to get everything done. We have a busy schedule in our jobs, sometimes not even taking breaks. And now that we are starting the new year, you probably can feel that already. Now, then we get home, we run, from one appointment to another. We may have a doctor's appointment. We may have the kids to take care of, to pick up. We have family commitments. So very quickly we get overwhelmed with everything we have to do. So that's why if you decide to implement fitness routine or workouts into your daily routine, the first thing I would like to recommend to you is to find a sport that you enjoy. There's nothing worse than signing up for a gym membership if you can't be bothered going to the gym. Or if you just, commit to going to a running class if you don't like running. Nowadays there are a million things out there, which I have to admit sometimes it is a problem because we slightly get overwhelmed. But I'm just going to give you a few ideas and recommendations. So if you are somebody that needs to get motivated by someone else, get a support of a friend. Then it's easy to get motivated. When you can't be bothered to go, when you have a low day, you can ask your friend, are we still up? And then she can motivate you to go. Or go to join a group. There are so many, there are running groups, there are aerobic groups that you can go to in the gym. Or maybe if you like biking, you can either join a spinning class in the gym, which I personally very much like, or you can take your bike to work or even to the subway station, to the railway station. Like, choose something that you enjoy doing. There are also, with the digital world we are in these days, there are a lot of options. I'm using 2 apps that I can recommend to you for a workout. And one is called Freeletics. It's a high intense workout. The idea is basically to get your pulse up and running very quickly. That's a way to burn fat very quickly. They're usually like 15 minutes intervals, and then you stop and then you do another one. So I can tell you I'm fit, but I do this 10 minutes and I'm already, okay. So what I'm saying is that you don't need much time in order to do exercises. What I also very much enjoy is yoga. And I don't always have the time to go to a yoga class or to a yoga studio. So I do yoga at home on YouTube. You know, there's a lady I follow called Maddie Morrison that has a lot of yoga videos. And you may even have found your yoga teacher that you follow on the web. But nevertheless, there are many, many different options. I live in Munich, and the city of Munich has a program, a sports program, which is officially available to everyone. And that ranges from all kinds of sports, from team sports like volleyball, basketball. It goes then to aerobic and fitness classes. It then goes into swimming. So check out something that you enjoy doing. And also, very important, find out what kind of sports person you are. What I mean with that is, if you, when the alarm goes off in the morning, jump out of bed, have an energy, you may be someone who likes to work out in the morning. But if you need 3 cups of coffee before you awake, then you may be better off doing exercise or planning it in either around lunchtime or in the afternoon. There's different ways, and find a time that suits you best. You know, I like to work out after work in the evenings, but I also sometimes work out in the mornings just to get the energy, you know, to get my body up and running. And that is not, I don't do long distance. It's like 15 minutes or something that you can do in the morning. But find a time that suits you, and also see if you prefer doing sports outside. Now in the winter time, you know, you may prefer working indoors, going to a gym or a center, or you want to be at home, or you run outside. I love the fresh air now. I know it's cold, but you just have to wrap yourself up in the right clothes, and then you won't feel the cold. But the fresh air is something that I really enjoy. So find the sports that you like, and then advice number 2, make a plan and stick to it. Plan your fitness dates in your calendar like a doctor's appointment. Like, say to yourself on a Sunday of every week, these are the days I'm going to work out. Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays as an example. Or if you have a family, or if you're not very, if you need to be flexible, if you need that flexibility in your schedule, you may say to yourself, okay, I'll do 3 days next week. I don't know when those days will be, but I will decide for myself it will be 3 days, either morning or afternoon. And I do recommend starting with 3 days, 20 to 30 minutes. I don't know your fitness level, but for those of you who haven't done much, you could start with 20 minutes, 3 times 20 minutes. And if you already have a fitness routine, you can do 30 minutes or even 45 minutes. You can always increase later. Don't set goals that are too high for yourself, because you just get upset if you can't achieve them. Rather, set yourself goals that are easy for you, easy but challenging, and then increase the time in the end, to go from 3 to 4 times, or from 2 to 3 times, or from 20 minutes to 45 minutes. So do an assessment, a real assessment for yourself, and then have fun. Don't forget the fun, because it should be something that you enjoy doing. And if you can't get motivated, you just put some nice music on. And if you are going to a class in the gym, then there's always music. But that for me is a way to get motivated if I can't get motivated to do something, because a lot of times my mind is telling me, oh, I've had a stressful day. I can't be bothered. I'm not feeling good. But this is the time, ladies, that is the time when you need to do something, because that's when you will feel wonderful afterwards. Because the body is releasing endorphins after already 20 minutes of workout. So when you've done something, you feel so much better. Believe me, for any bad mood or any stressful day, doing a workout, and even if it's just a walk, with your dog outside, like, a brisk, fast walk in this kind of weather, this will lighten up your mood and will make you feel much better. I promise it is working. So, fitness, there's much more I can tell about that, but the main two things is to find something you like doing, make a plan, put it in your calendar, no excuses from friends or anything else, treat it as a doctor's appointment, and then stick to it. Be committed and be disciplined. So let's go to the next topic. And by the way, if you do have questions, write them in the chat box like Rebecca said, and I will go, we'll go through them at the end. So to make sure we'll stick to the time, okay? Next topic or next section is nutrition. Well, nutrition, there's a really nice quote that I would like to share with you, which I resonate with very deeply. And it says, take care of your body. It's the only place you have to live in. And that basically means if you treat your body well, if you take care of what you're eating, you'll be able to live in our body, in our house, for a very long time, until we get very old. But if you don't treat it well, then you'll have to start renovations very quickly, right? Which we're all trying to avoid. Now, the body. Did you know that 70% of our body is made out of water? When we were born, it was over 90% as babies. 90% or even 70%. Now, our cells in our body, in order to grow, need water. So that's why my tip number 1 for you here is to drink 2 to 3 liters a day. Ideally, water or unsweetened teas. Try to avoid the sugar because it has a lot of negative downsides to them. Try to be sugar-free in this case. Now, I want to run another poll to make sure you ladies are still engaged. And that poll I'm running now is what you are drinking in a day. So I'd like to know from you ladies what you drink every day.
Okay, so that poll has been launched. I've just tweaked the responses slightly as we spoke about, Daniela. So if I just run through them for you, we've got water, unsweetened tea, Zane's herbal tea as the first response. Soda, second response, which includes things like Coke, Sprite. Fruit juices, are they fresh or diluted with water? Third response. Energy drinks and coffee, so anything like really highly caffeine based. And then the final one is alcohol. And I've made that a multiple choice poll. So you can select several things in there if there are several of those that you take during the day. Okay, so we've got 81% of people who have voted. If anybody who still wants to cast their vote could just do so, that would be great.
And here's the idea is just to get feedback from, where you are at now.
Okay, I'm going to close that poll there. And I will share with the audience the responses and I'll read them out to you, Daniela. So 95% of people on the call are drinking water, unsweetened teas, tisanes and herbal teas each day. 5% are drinking sodas as well. 8% fruit juices. 53% energy drinks or coffee. And 8% alcohol. I'm pretty sure if we'd have ran this survey last week, that alcohol one would have been a bit different.
I know. Yeah. That's why I made it my number 1 goal for January. No alcohol. So I'm going alcohol free for 30 days. But that's a really good result. I really much like the fact that 95% of you are drinking water and unsweetened teas because that is what our body likes best. Now, I'm not saying you should avoid drinking a fruit juice or a Coke or a coffee. But take into consideration that most of that stuff contains a lot of sugar. And I want to tell you, not to make you afraid, but just to get the awareness up and running again. Our body doesn't need sugar because our cells need the energy to function, and that you take that in through carbohydrates and through sugar. But sugar has an addictive function to it because you start taking it once, you need that high, you want that high, but then you get the quick low of your blood sugar level. So the thing is, when you eat or drink sugary drinks, your body converts that sugar into glucose, which then gets transferred to your cells to get burned into energy. Now, when your body doesn't need the energy because you're not moving and you're sitting the whole time, then it gets transferred to your fat cells where we don't want it because there it gets saved until it gets needed again. So just to give you an idea of how the process works, but I'm not saying, like I said, you should avoid sugar, but just we need a lot of water. And let's, face it, we give our plants water to grow. So why would we give ourselves sugar? Just think about that next time you water your plant. It's the same thing. So water, or mix it up with something. If you need, the coffee kick, if you like to drink a lot of coffee, then try to leave the sugar out. Maybe just put milk or drink it pure on its own, like black coffee. Or if you like energy drinks, then you can maybe reduce it. It's all about moderation. That's what I'm trying to say. It's all about balance. I'm not saying you should stop drinking these things completely, but try to reduce it from 2 to 3, from 3 to 1, and you start feeling the difference. I promise you. And another downside, just not to make you worried, but just to make you aware, is that sugar, apart from having that addictive or that addiction, it also, it decreases your energy, drains your energy. It increases the risk of heart diseases and diabetes, and your skin ages more quicker. So have that in mind next time you're grabbing a sugary drink.
Daniela, just on that point,
Yes.
I've never done this before. I've never shown my face on a webinar, but there's something that I would like to share with the audience that I have on my desk. Are you
Yes.
happy for me to do that?
Sure.
Yeah? Right, hold on. Let me just webcam. Don't be scared, people. Okay, I'm sharing my webcam. My mum bought me this thing a couple of last year, the end of last year, and it's this bottle. You see that? So it's a water bottle, regular water bottle. It's a litre, but on this side, let me see if I can get the detail on
Yes.
here. So I fill it up in the morning, and it tells me by what time I should have drank what amount. Then I refill at lunchtime, and then we go again on here.
That is perfect.
It has absolutely revolutionized the amount of water I drink, because I'll probably get through 2 of these before lunchtime because I'm so conscious of looking at it and thinking, hey, it's 9 a.m. I haven't had my quota of water. So I would thoroughly recommend this. This one is a brand called Mango. I'm sure there's others available, but I got it on Amazon. So great tip for getting
That's
water
wonderful.
down you.
Perfect. Thank you, Rebecca, because I was just going to mention that at work if you have a desk job, then a good thing to do is to put, a can or a jar of tea right next to you, because then you drink it because you see it. The problem is always, and I notice that myself, the weekends, when we don't sit out at the desk the whole time, then it's much more difficult to drink. But that's why I love these bottles. I also carry a water bottle in my bag all the time. Like, I can't go anywhere without my water bottle. I just feel like I need it.
Yeah.
And here's another quick advice on the feeling of thirst. When you are thirsty, that's already a sign of your body that you're lacking water. So don't wait until you're feeling thirsty. Drink beforehand. And it's all a mindset game. We'll get to that later, but it's just you have to create a habit, like Rebecca just said. You put that bottle there, and then you see, okay, it's helping you to achieve the minimum amount you should be drinking, and then it's there as a reminder. You be busy, you just look at it, and you're like, oh, okay, I need to drink. So the goal is to get into that routine, into that habit, to drink it, to make it a habit, just like we brush our teeth in the morning, even though we don't always feel like it. I think I don't, but we do it anyways because we have to do it. But okay, so let's go to the second part of the nutrition session, which I also think is a very good point, is related to stress and to sugar, which we just talked about, is to avoid cravings. So, you may be thinking, what cravings? Like sugary cravings, salty cravings, like meaning when you want to have that, you need that sugar rush. You need to eat something very quickly because otherwise you'll faint, or you feel like you need that something to get that energy again. That could be a chocolate, or something sweet, or a sugary drink, or that could be something salty. And these are called cravings. And we get them most of the time because of stress, because we're stressed out at work, maybe, or at home. It's stress related. So we need that something for our body to make us feel better, to give us that energy. Or we also get those cravings when we are bored. We sit at home, we watch TV or do something, and then we eat it. We don't consciously or mindfully eat or look at what we're eating. Or emotional behavior, like you're feeling sad, or you're feeling a bit upset about something, so you want that piece of chocolate to make you feel better, or that glass of wine in the evenings. But these are things you can control. These cravings you can get under control very easily. Now, one thing is to eat healthy and nutritious food, and eat regularly. So that means eat foods that are rich in protein, like and carbohydrates. Protein could be avocado, could be eggs, could be chicken, something that has a lot of protein in it, that makes you go for longer, like yogurts as well, like anything or cheeses, things that have more protein that will make you full for longer. Or carbohydrates that are like whole grain, as an example, quinoa, or sweet potatoes, or brown rice, these kind of things. Try to avoid bread if possible, or pasta, like these kind of things. These are carbohydrates high foods, and they will spike up your energy level very quickly, but you will see it goes down very quickly because your body burns these very quickly. With the other protein rich and fat rich foods, and fat rich, what I'm saying here is good fat, like omega-3, like fish as an example, avocado. I'm not saying to keep the fat out, but try to eat something that makes you full for longer. As an example, for my breakfast, I eat overnight oats with almond milk, and I put chia seeds in them, and then I leave that in the fridge or outside, and the next morning it's all built up and welled up and good. And then I add some bananas and blueberries, and that keeps me going until almost lunch. Now, or even an egg, I love eggs. If you're vegan, you would eat something different, but eggs, same thing, have a lot of protein, and that keeps you going for much longer. Whereas when I eat cereal with milk or bread, I'm hungry again after a couple of hours. So, but here, that is my experience. I know that everybody is different. Just listen to your body a bit more. Be a bit more mindful in what you're eating. And to go back to the cravings, like try to eat regularly and healthy food. And if you are hungry, eat healthy snacks in between, like nuts, fruit, dried fruits, or even yogurt, just to keep you going. Because what happens with the cravings is that your blood sugar level drops down very quickly. It drops. It's at a very low point. So your body needs that energy very quickly in order to function again. Your body, your cells. So that's why we then grab something that gives us that energy quickly. So you can avoid these situations though. If you have big meals, in high, rich, nutritious food meals, and then have healthy snacks in between. And now, for all of you that are working in an office environment, I know it's very hard when there is this one colleague that always has chocolate and cakes at her desk. Now, it's difficult sometimes to you go past it maybe once or twice, and then third time you can't resist. But the problem is When you resist once, you resist twice and 3 times. So try to be good. If you feel like you're stressed, and just go another way, not to pass your desk, to avoid the chocolate, or maybe have a chewing gum. Put a chewing gum in. That also helps to give you, reduce these cravings. And number 3, very important, prepare your meals, ladies. That works out perfectly for me. Like, I love Tupper or whatever box you have. So prepare your meal in advance the night before. And then you have everything ready to go, and you can take it to work. And when you have a stressful day at work or a stressful day at home with the kids or whatsoever, you're not tempted to get something that is unhealthy. You have it prepared, so feeling guilty for not eating it, so then you'll eat it. So that's another good tip that I'd like to share with you, in order to, to reduce or to avoid these cravings. Now, I know that's probably a lot of information, and you're probably feeling slightly overwhelmed, but just stick to 2 things. Drink 2 to 3 liters of water, ideally water, each day, and avoid the sugary cravings through, preparing your own meals, eating regularly. For some that may be 3 big meals a day, others prefer more meals, and throughout, 6, 7 meals. I prefer 3 main meals and then have some snacks in between. So that's totally, listen to your body. I think that's very important. We need to listen to our bodies, because then our body will tell us what he needs in this moment. So now let's get to the third and most important topic of all of these topics, and that's the mindset. And here's another quote that I'd like to share, and that is, the secret to transformation is the way of changing on the emotional, mental, and spiritual side. Ladies, we focus so much on what goes up, what goes on from the neck down, but we completely forget what happens up here. If we're not mentally ready, we will never be physically ready to achieve whatever we're trying to achieve. And that is very true. We need to change our mindset. That is the most important thing. And it is possible. It is possible, believe me. It is hard at the beginning, because we're creatures of routines and habits. We're used to certain ways, and that's how we function. And a lot of these processes that happen during the day, over 90%, happen automatically. Like, everything we do is done by our subconscious. We just do it. We don't, like, I'm grabbing that cup of tea without having to think, how do I actually grab that cup of tea? It all happens, and our body does that to make us survive, But we just need to break out of these patterns and routines. So what I'm trying to say is, if you've decided to implement a fitness routine in your daily life, and if you try to eat healthy, maybe change one thing a week that you do differently, then now it's up to you to follow through and to be committed and to stick to that. Because that is the secret of high performance people, of highly successful people. They set a goal, they make a decision, and then they are committed and self-disciplined to follow through until they achieve that goal. Now, this may be hard, I know, because it's so easy to fall back in our old routines, and I know that feeling myself. It's something that we all have to work on every single day. So that's why I want to make sure that this process for you is fun, and that you enjoy doing that, because it's not the destination, it's the journey that matters. And one way to do this are positive affirmations. What is that, as an example? Like, a positive affirmation is when you're saying to yourself in the mirror or while you're working out something positive, like I am strong, I am worthy, I am disciplined, I'm loved, I'm happy. These things, pick yourself one that you repeat over and over again, and it will change the patterns in your brain. Believe me. Like, as an example, when you work out and you're like, oh, I can't be bothered. Oh, I just can't. Your ego is, your mind is like saying, oh, I don't want to do this. Then say, I'm strong, I'm strong, I'm strong. And then you follow through, and that works. It may be difficult to get used to this self-talk because we have so much negative self-talk going on and all the time, all our lives. So now you suddenly have to switch into something positive, maybe something to get used to at first, but it does work. Or when you wake up in the morning, look in the mirror and say, hi, lovely, I'm wonderful. Like seriously, when I did this first, I was like, this is kind of weird, but now I'm used to it. Now I love it. I do it every morning. I have my 3 affirmations, and then I say them every morning out loud. And that will help you to accelerate in the process, because it is not always easy. And you have to work hard and, commit yourselves. And most of the time or sometimes especially if it's stress and you don't feel like it, I know, you just want to quit. But then these positive affirmations help. Or even a pep talk. I sometimes call it a pep talk. Like when I have a cold shower in the morning, I'm like, Daniela, you're going to do this. I don't care if you want to or not. And then I do it. And then I feel so much better. So enjoy the ride. That's important. And when you've set yourself a goal, and you achieved it, or partly achieved it, celebrate. Ladies, don't forget to celebrate. Take care of yourself. Maybe a nice massage. Maybe, yes, you want to buy that piece of chocolate if you're tempted not to eat for a few weeks. It's all about the quantity, that you're eating. Just treat yourself to something nice, or have a glass of wine. Celebrate your success, your progress. That is very important. Make time for that, really, because if we don't know how to celebrate our successes, then how are we going to achieve the goals, And the thing is with the goal is, like I said before, don't set goals that are too high, As an example, if you're saying, I want to lose 5 kilos, then until, I don't know, in 2 months or in a month, then when you've lost 2.5 kilos, then you can already celebrate a little. It's like a little milestone, Make sure you don't forget these things, because like I said, it's the journey that matters, not the destination. And that's what is very important to me for you, that you don't forget that. Now let's quickly wrap up the session with repeating the 3 pieces of advice that I'm going to give you. So I'm going to pull up the slides again, because I've got them written down, and you will get them afterwards if you like. So you can read through them. So I'm going to share my screen. Hang on, sorry. See, we tried this so many times, and then it doesn't happen when you try it. So I'm hoping you can all see this. So let's just go back through the 3 pieces of advice. The one is, find a sport that you enjoy. So actively look for something and just focus on one. Don't have to do like 3 different things. Like on Monday, I will go to yoga. On Wednesday, I will go to spinning class. And on Friday, if you know you can do it, perfect. But if you're not ready to do it, if you feel like it's too much and feel overwhelmed, then don't do it. It's not worth it, because then you will break you will, in the end, you will not do it once, and then you get upset, and then it's a circle. So once you found that sport you like, is make a training plan. Plan your fitness goals in your calendar and stick to it. That is very important. Now, number 3 is to drink 2 to 3 liters of water a day. Like we already said, drink enough. Your body needs the fluids, whether that's unsweetened or sweetened or a mix. I like, I'm not sure what you call this in English, but in Germany, we're doing a lot of times Schorle. That's basically it's fruit juice mixed with water. So that also works. If you don't want to not drink your fruit juice, and mix it with water. Then number 4 is avoid the sugar cravings. That is also very important, because if you have these cravings, you always need something that is high sugary, and then it's like it becomes like an addiction, every single day. And then we don't want that. And then number 5 is to use positive affirmations. Like I said, say to yourself, either in the mirror or while working out, I'm strong, I'm disciplined, I can do this, I'm wonderful. but pick one. I mean, don't have to do many, but just pick one, maybe one of the day, and then just repeat it over and over again, and you will feel the difference. By the way, there is a nice author. She's already dead. A lovely lady called Louise Hay. She's written a book about affirmations, which is something that I recommend because she has a lot of affirmations in her book. And number 6 is to celebrate your success. Celebrate. Don't forget, the party going on. Don't forget the fun, because it should be fun. And like I said, the key to all of this, and I'll put it up on my slide. Let me see, because is what I already said, is the key to transformation is to change the way you're thinking on the mental, emotional, and spiritual side. That is the importance. You have to change your habits and your routine. It's going to be difficult because your body is telling you no. Your mind is telling you no, but you have to be better than your mind, because you're not your mind. Saying you have to just start with a habit, and then after a couple of weeks, repeating things over and over again, it becomes a habit. Like I said, like the brushing your teeth in the morning or getting dressed in the morning. Like, these things we may not always feel like doing, but we always do. And then now, this is basically the end of the webinar. And before we get to the Q&A session, I just wanted to quickly tell you that I have a challenge running for the entire year, and it's called the 12 months or the 2019 Health and Fitness Challenge. And that basically means you'll get a new goal every single month that you have to follow through. Like, as an example, this month it was it's no alcohol, so 30 days no alcohol. Then I will continue in February with 30 days no coffee. Then I will do 30 days no meat. Then I will incorporate fitness themes, like 30 days of walking, where you try to leave your car and you just walk or bike as much as possible. And I think I've chosen it to do it this way because a lot of times, we set goals, we set many, many goals at the beginning of the year, and then like I said, it's hard to follow through. So the good thing about this challenge is, though, that you have one goal to focus on, even though you hopefully have more now, but you have one goal in addition that you focus on. You do 30 days, and then you will have felt that after those 30 days, your body will have already changed their mindset. Like, as an example, when you drink coffee, no coffee for 30 days, like I did before Easter, I didn't feel the need to drink coffee afterwards, after those 30 days. And so it does work. You just need to be hard and disciplined. Be committed. That is the one thing. But if you're interested in this challenge, I'll welcome you to sign up to my YouTube channel, which will be sending out afterwards all the details in the email. But I'll post little videos. They're just a few minutes each month with the challenge or the goal of the month. So, and I think, why do this on my own? It's not so much fun. I'd rather just motivate other people and get more people on board, because I do know that it does make the difference. And in case you're interested to find out more, I'll be going live with my website, www.jumpstart.success, at the end of January. So there you can find much more information, and you can find me on LinkedIn and YouTube. But it's just the usual social stuff that everyone says at the end. But no, in general, I mean, to me, this is important, and I've been reflecting myself for years now, and every single change that I make in my body, I do notice. As an example, I'm not eating much meat anymore. I'm not vegetarian completely, but my goal is to become vegetarian. Not because I shouldn't eat the meat, it's just for ethical reasons. Meat has a lot of protein, but it's just it's a process, and it's not something that I decided, today and I did it the next day. It's a slow process, it takes time. So be patient with yourselves, and everything will work out. Now, before we wrap up, I almost forgot, let's run the next and last poll of this webinar. And the poll is, are you ready to commit to achieving your health and fitness goals for 2019?
Okay, so that poll is launched as well. If people could just pop their answers in there. Oh, I like this. We're seeing lots of yeses come up.
Yes, that's what I want.
We've got a few maybes. They're going to give it a try. Nobody's dared to say no yet. That's good.
Hey, that's fine if you do, you know, it's your body, your decision. I'm not forcing you to anything.
Okay, so I am going to wrap up on that one, close it, and I'll share the results. So 71% of people on the call are saying that they're ready to make a change. Nobody said no, they weren't. 16% said maybe they're going to give it a try. And the remaining 13% said they haven't yet set any goals, but they will do after the webinar, which is encouraging.
Oh, that's wonderful. And ladies, what I recommend to you is that you actually do this right now. You after this webinar, the first thing you should be doing before you go back to your meetings or to your colleagues or to whatever you've been doing before is use the momentum to write down these goals, because this is now the time for you. This is the best time to set goals, and then do this every week, you know, to those monthly goals, those weekly goals, if you don't have goals for the entire year. And like I said, I've said it a couple of times before we go to the Q&As, it will be hard and you have to be committed. I know that. But if you want to be successful, you have to be committed and disciplined to do this. And I'm here in case you have doubts and questions, and if you feel like you need some extra motivation, I am ready to kick your ass if you want to, my friend. So thank you very much for watching. I hope I could give you a lot of tips and advice that you can start implementing in your daily routines and lives. And now, if there are any questions that you would like to leave or get out, then here we go.
Okay, great. Now, I see a couple of people have already dropped off from the call, so I'm only assuming that they've ran away to quickly write down their goals. So we have one question that came in earlier on in the session from Michaela, and she says that she's got this behavior that she'd like to avoid, which is she'll set her rules. So, you know, she might be healthy eating or have a certain workout challenge, but then as soon as she has a little blip in that, she says to herself, oh God, I've messed it up anyway. What's the point of continuing? I'll start over next week. You know, so she wants to know, is there a way to break that behavior cycle?
I mean, the good thing the first thing, thank you, Michaela, for asking your questions. I think the first step you've already done, you've noticed your thoughts. You already know your negative thoughts. A lot of people aren't even aware of their thoughts, you know. So this is the first step. That's good. You've realized, okay, I have these negative self-talk patterns that I need to break through. So next time when you have that pattern, try to switch it into something positive. As an example, gratitude is something that is very easy in shifting our mood. So when you were planning to, I don't know, to maybe work out after work, and then you just, you can't be bothered, and then you want to give up, then try to remember, be grateful for what you have already done so far. Instead of focusing on things you haven't done or you may not be doing, try to focus on what you have already done. That will change the way of thinking and your feeling in your body. That is the first thing. Try to do that next time. As an example, like I said, you want to work out, or you've been wanting to eat, you've been wanting to drink no alcohol, the week, and then you've met up with a friend, and then she was like, oh, come on, have a glass, and you're like, okay, I'll have a glass, and then you get upset. That happens with me. And then you get upset. You're like, first, one thing, when you do that, first thing is to actually enjoy what you're doing in that moment. That's another thing. Instead of judging yourself already, enjoy that glass of wine, that piece of chocolate, that couch you will have, you're doing instead of working out. And then think about what you have already done to achieve this goal. Think about the past couple of days that you have been really good, or think about the sports 5 times of I don't know, running or gym sessions you've already done. Focus on the positive side, not on the negative side. Hey, we're all humans. It all happens. But it doesn't mean you can change it tomorrow. You can change it easily. It's just a change of mindset. So next time when you judge yourself, focus on the positive things and do enjoy that piece of chocolate or something in that moment. I hope, does it help? I hope that helps. If not, then you can
Yeah, I
right?
think that's a great answer. And also, Elena had asked a similar question, which was about how we can keep our motivation during the whole process. So I think the response you've given there to Michaela also addresses some of those points for Eleanor's question. We then have Ellen. I think we've got time for one more question.
Mhm.
So Ellen is asking, she's saying, thanks for the inspiring talk, Daniela. So that's great. She says she tends to set goals that are a bit too challenging without realizing it until she doesn't reach them, and then she gets demotivated. So her question is, how can we know that a goal is going to be challenging but realistic?
Okay, so let's go back to the fitness goals as an example. Or let's do both examples, but fitness. Say if you, I'm not sure about your fitness level, but say if you currently work out once a week, right? You either, that looks like it's like going for a walk, or maybe you go for a run, or do something once a week. Then to me, to set a goal of 4 times a week is quite challenging, because, and that's what I always tell my friend who's having a young baby at home. She wants to, like, I do 5 times a week. I'm like, hang on a minute, you're not doing 5 times a week. You're doing like 2 at this point. You can't do 5. So if you do walk out once, then be realistic. Don't do 4. Say 3. 3 is a good time. Or if you do 2, then do it 4 times. Or if you, as an example with food, trying to become, as an example, vegan, and you currently eat meat, then to me that's a very challenging goal. In order to become vegan, you first need to become a vegetarian, or in order to, say, as an example, you don't eat, quinoa. I never tried it, for white rice. Then you go with brown rice first, and do when you set these goals, really look into your body. Don't get distracted by other things. Just take that time for yourself, that 10 minutes, to really look inside and think, what is it that I want, and what is it that I realistically can achieve? Because it is important to set realistic goals, and a lot of times we get motivated by all this stuff out there in the news, and by friends, and, oh, you know what, I'm doing like 6 times a week. And I'm like, hell no, I can do 6. I don't work out 6 times a week. I don't have time. Like, what if I had time? No, I choose to spend my time wisely, a different way. Let's put it that way. But it's all a matter of priorities. But does that help a little?
Sorry, on mute there. Yes, I do think that helps perfectly. And Helen's saying yes, thank you very much. So we're coming to the end of our session. It's been really, really useful having you, Daniela, and I can see your passion and your energy in sharing this advice with us. I know probably lots of people on the call have heard, pretty much what you've said before, but for those who haven't, this can be revolutionary in their lives. And for those who have, it's always great at the start of the year to just focus on what it is we want to achieve. So I think you've given some really great pragmatic solutions that we can all take away and start working with straight away. So I am going to go and fill my water bottle up. I'm going to thank you very much for your time today, and thank you to everyone else for joining us. And yeah, we will look forward to joining your Jumpstart Success YouTube channel, and getting your motivations and joining you in those monthly challenges. So thank you very, very much.
Thank you, ladies. And let's make this the best year ever. Thank you.